Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Macrobiology Miracles. Today we're going to be taking a look at all the major tools that you will be using for a dissection. Today we'll be using the TrueMed 22-piece dissection kit. I actually have it right here. I picked this up for about $18 on Amazon, not including shipping, but it's really great for the price. All the tools are made out of surgical grade stainless steel, and I've used it for a while. It's just really great. If you're getting into biology, I would advise going there and picking one up yourself. It's great for the price. If you want to do that, I'll actually be leaving a link to where you can get one in the description below. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the kit comes in this wonderful black box right here, and it's magnetically sealed shut, as you can see. So it just kind of does that. And inside, you have the carrying case. It's made out of synthetic leather, and it's pretty high quality from what I can tell. It's got a nice zipper. I don't think that's gonna be breaking anytime soon. And inside this is all of your tools. So let's open it up and see what's inside. So you've got all these tools, and they all have their little place where they fit. As well as you have some scalpel blades. These are the scalpel blades. It comes with about 10 of them. And the first tool that we'll be going over is the forceps. Now, you've probably heard the word forceps before, because it's kind of like a pretty classic movie trope where a surgeon is doing surgery and he says to his assistant, "Forceps!" And they hand him the forceps and he does something. But forceps are basically a very, the fancy word for tweezers. So you can see that right there. There's a little rubber band that fits around the forceps. And that just comes from right in here. You actually have 3 different kinds of forceps. This is gonna be your main kind of forceps. It's a basic forceps, straight blade. Tiny little grooves in there, if you can see it, and these are just used for picking up little things. Like if you want to pull something up, you can use them. Like if I want to lift up this little rubber band, I can do it like that. And then next in the group of forceps is the pronged forceps. These have little teeth in the end. Now, see, that's so that it can grab things that wouldn't normally be able to grab. Here, let me show you. So if I see this sponge, I can grab and I can tug it because the teeth dig into the material. Most forceps are fairly atraumatic. Of all the ones that would cause the most damage, I'd say this would be it. And then the final kind of forceps in this kit is a curved forceps. This is for if you have to reach in under something to pull something out. And this is also fairly atraumatic. It's a little bit sharp, but other than that, you don't really run a high risk of puncturing anything. That's pretty much all with forceps, except that when you hold a forceps, you just hold it in between your index finger and thumb and support it with your middle finger, like that. So we'll just slide these all back into their place. The next tool that we'll be using, or that we'll be taking a look at, is the scalpel. It's probably one of the most frequently used tools in surgery, and here it is. It's stored in this space, right here. And you'll look at it and you'll think, well, this doesn't look like a scalpel. Where's the sharp part? Well, the sharp parts are here, are in these little packets. These are where the scalpel blades come from. And they look... 1 second, let me pick them up. I got gloves on, so it's a little bit hard. They look like this. So you've got 2 kinds of scalpel blades. You've got your standard scalpel blade, which is used for making incisions primarily. So you're going to use this for making your primary incision. And this is like if you want to puncture something and then proceed to make a longer incision. It's not a huge difference, but it can be important in certain scenarios. You might be thinking, well, how do I get this onto this? And, well, you see, there's a little groove right in the top there. You can't put the scalpel in, but what you can do is you see this hole? You fit it on the scalpel like that, and then you just push it on. And boom, it just pops in place. So, you hold your scalpel by, one second, let me get my glove on more. You hold your scalpel like you would a pencil. And you can use these fingers down here to guide your incision as you're making it. Here's the piece of sponge that we were using before for the other tools. And to give you a demonstration of how sharp this really is, look, barely any pressure, and I've managed to make an incision. So this can be a very dangerous tool. It's so sharp that if you cut yourself on it, you probably wouldn't notice until you were degloving and you saw that you were bleeding. So always keep your hands out of the path of the scalpel when you're cutting. Now, you remove the scalpel blade basically the same way you put it on, by just bending that up and pulling. Always grip the scalpel blade away from you with your thumb and forefinger so that you don't end up pulling. Like if it's in between your thumb and forefinger, like pinched, and you were to move like that, it would cut your finger. So don't fit your fingers all the way around the blade. The scalpel blade, just as I showed you, fits right back in there, and always take your scalpel blade off before you put your scalpel back in the space. I don't usually like to have this case on the table when I'm doing a dissection just because it gets in the way, and I don't really want to get it covered in blood or other, substances that tend to come out of animals when you're dissecting them. But, yeah. These pointy blades, they come from these ones right here, and these less sharp blades, they come from these. The next tool that we have up on the list is your probe. Probe. I know it sounds worse than it actually is. This is just used for kind of getting under things or prying things up. It really can be used for a lot of things. Basically, anything you need a stick for is what you use this for. You can pry things up, you can pull on them, you can tug, you can poke around, see what's going on. And you actually have 3 kinds. See, now some of these are significantly sharper than the others. Like, these 2 are sharper than this one. And that's because with these, you might want to make a puncture. One of the reasons you might want to do that is if there's something that you can't grip with your forceps, or that's too large to grip with your forceps, you can use this, or you can use one of these to hook in under it, and then you can grab it with your forceps. It should be noted that this is a mildly traumatic tool, so if you don't want to cause damage, I wouldn't advise you use the probe for that. Okay, and those just fit in, I just pricked myself a little bit. Those fit in right here. See? 1, 2, 3. Oh, my towel clip came undone. But that does bring us to the next tool, which is the towel clip, or or your towel clamp. What this is for is that when you need to close something off, like if you have an artery or a vein that you need to crunch, you would use this for it. See, it grips onto things, and then because it has these teeth in it, when you squeeze it, it locks. See? So, if I wanted to... There are a lot of reasons to use this, but... See, when I grip it... when I grip it, it just goes like that, and it doesn't come undone until I squeeze it again, and that comes out. And that just goes right here in the kit. Now, Up next is the scissors. You've got your pretty standard Irish scissors. Don't ask me why they're called Irish scissors, I have no idea. And then you got your larger scissors. No idea what these are called. Look, if you don't know what scissors are used for, then you shouldn't be taking a biology class, let's just be honest. Those go right next to the towel clamps. The reason it's called a towel clamp is, I'd assume, because you can use it to clamp a towel, like on a patient. When they have the towels laid out, they can use it to clamp them together to keep them from going around. The towel clamp is a traumatic tool, which means that it causes damage to basically skin and tissue. But the last tool that we're going to be reviewing today is this. Honestly, this is probably the least useful tool that I use. It's called a groove director. I don't really ever use this. What it's used for, or what I gather that it's used for, is it's used for guiding tools to an area. Like, it's used for, if you can't see something, you can use it to guide a tool into that area. Twice I have used it. It is not useful, but it can be helpful in certain scenarios. Anyways, all that just fits very neatly back in here, and we pop it right back in here, and put it wherever the heck you put your medical equipment. Anyways, it's been nice exploring the TrueMed 22-piece dissection kit. Again, if you want to purchase one for yourself, there's going to be a link in the description. And that's all. Have a wonderful day.